Alright, hello. Ah, dear, oh dear. Here we go with yet another decode for Madonna. Another predictive death date 8/20 decode for Madonna. Okay, and now we're looking at what? This show Wednesday, derived from the Addams family. So, okay, we're already in damn territory here with the Adam. A damn. Yeah, I always like the Batman one. Yeah, because who played Batman? Adam West. And so you get this Batman reference that is Adam in the West. Okay, and here we are. Now we're going to be talking about a TV show that is related back to the Adams family. A Dam's family. Okay, and primarily we're going to be talking about the family of Madonna. Okay, so anyway, the dam is Madonna, very similar symbolism, and the idea of the death of Madonna is the idea of the breaking of the Hoover Dam. Well, I'm just going to say the Hoover Dam. Breaking of the dam, okay, is the birth of man, is the release out of the matrix, the reset of the system. So anyway, I'm going to approach this just a little bit differently from probably everybody else's bog standard decode on Wednesday. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with the bog standard decode on Wednesday. I'm actually gonna put a little bit in here. Actually, we could just do it right now. Get it out of the way real quick. Yeah, Wednesday comes from, is Woden's day, and Woden is Odin. And here we see Odin lost his eye. Yeah. Okay. So he's the one-eyed man, right? Now, let me just show you something with Madonna. This thing going on here with Madame X. Okay. The eye patch reference, and what is important about this eye patch reference, we will come back to this later, is this X on it. Okay, because this idea of the X or the kiss or the cross is where two things meet and come together and balance one another. Okay, so now I can take my 180 tangent on Wednesday. Okay, because we're going to be talking about the idea of Wednesday. Let me just hang on. Let's just go back to this. Let me just show. Let's see if this thing will write. Wednesday. How do we abbreviate Wednesday? Okay, W E D S. Weds. Yeah, that's how we abbreviate Wednesday. Wednesday. Now you're going to see where I'm going here. The wedding. Wednesday. Okay, because we've been talking a hell of a lot about the idea of the white wedding. All these palindromic numbers that we've been seeing lately, huge amounts of palindromic numbers. They're all balanced numbers, yeah. They're reflective numbers, yeah. And this is what the wedding is the two rings coming together. Might as well just do it right here. And as they overlap just a little bit, as they entangle with one another, just enough to join together, but not enough that one is sitting over the top of the other. Okay, we don't have any eclipses going on right yet. These two things have come together, and there's a double cross formed where they cross, but they're also just crossing each other just slightly here, or kissing each other. Notice that the lips are formed here, like the little Pac-Man. There's almost like two little Pac-Man kissing there. Yeah, you could do this, Okay, and there's one Pac-Man, and then the other Pac-Man's coming in and kissing that Pac-Man. Okay, so you got this kiss thing going on, right? But this is the Vesica Pisces, yeah? You know, the numerology associated with this, 153. Oh, this thing, the problem with this thing is for some reason it is just so slow. 153. Tried a right of 153. But that's the, you know, the ratios involved with the size of these circles coming together and meeting up in the middle. You get this 153 numerology formed, okay? So the 153 fish, but that is the mirror right there. Yeah, that is the mirror that, or the portal or the doorway that we do not want to cross. What happens when that thing gets crossed? Once you go, oops, once you go through that doorway, yeah, your little men get trapped inside the black hole and are trapped inside there, and they're nurtured and everything else, but they're trapped inside there, and it takes 9 months for them to be delivered out of the matrix, the womb, and back into the real world. Okay, so they are essentially, if you like, in inner space, in space, just as like Dave Bowman is away and then finally shoots back through, yeah, the arrow shooting through the eye of the axe head, and he's reborn. Okay, Dave Bowman, Odysseus. Anyway, I'm getting really, but we have to understand some of this. We need to understand what is going on with the wedding. Yeah, this is the balance point in the center of here. Okay, so this is extremely important to understand just what is going on with the balance point, and that mirror point is the Vesica Pisces. That's the gateway to the other side. That's the thing that's got to be respected and not crossed over. Okay, but it's so tempting, isn't it? If you're a guy, you know what I'm talking about. It's so tempting. Okay. Okay, right. Well, with that, where we at now is, so this idea of the wedding, yeah. And Wednesday is what? What do we call Wednesday? It's the middle of the week. It's the middle. Yeah, it's the middle of the week. Interesting, isn't it? How that can be changed from, you know, Odin now to the idea of a wedding going on. Yeah, between the two S days, the 219 days. This is where this is the World War III decode coming on now, which I don't really want to do right now, but you know, we're going from a 19 date to a 19 date. It's double pi, okay? And that double pi number jump is 86 years and a day, or 86 years if you like, okay? Depending on the way you want to count numbers, but that is, you know, Madonna's birthday, 186, and we're going to look at this 86 as referenced in this decode a little bit as well, so we need to understand that as well. The double pi reference, that 86 year 1 day jump, is a number jump of 3 1, come on, right, 314 1 3. I really don't know if it's the computer or for some reason this thing won't work on Wikipedia as well when it's a page off of Wikipedia. I don't know why, but that's the number jump, yeah. And so the end of the beginning of World War II was on the 1st of September 1939, jumping through to the 1st September coming up right now, 86 years and a day. This number here, double pi. What's important about that though is the fact that 19 is also a pi. Okay, pi, yeah. 19 is pi in mirrored, and this is what we're dealing with, this blooming mirror right here, which is the Vesica Pisces. Okay, right. Let's do some number jumps. Let's firstly look at why this particular series that is now what everybody's been going on about is they've just released series 2 of this show. Okay, so the first thing is we want to look, because everybody's been talking about it, we want to look when it's been released. Okay, and so you can see here that it says in January 2023 the series was renewed for a second season, which premiered on 8/6. There's our 8/6 showing up again already. 2025. The second half is scheduled to be released on September the 3rd. Interesting. The first thing we need to do is figure out, well, what numbers are encoded. Well, we can already see that we've got Hoover Dam numbers with September the 3rd. The 30th of September is the numerology, 9/3 is the numerology, and the 30th of September is when the Hoover Dam's birthday is. And again, this 8/6, oh, this is very interesting with the pi jump there that we were dealing with, and that all ties back in with Madonna, depending on the way you count the numbers. Okay, so 86 years and the 86 years 1 day. Okay, which gives us Madonna's birthday numbers. Anyway, we want to see how long that is. Let's see how many days that is. Okay, already we're already getting references. We've got two sets of numbers we can look at. So one is 29, so that number jumped through is 29 days, which is our white wedding number. 29 is our wedding number. I'll go and show you that in just a second in the chart of Lorraine. But look, lo and behold, don't include end date, 28 days. This is our Madonna predictor right here, the 820. This is the numerology right here, and it's been so important with a tie back with Magic Johnson. If you've not seen my Desperately Seeking Susan Magic Johnson decode, if you go back a few videos, you'll find that it's absolutely mental. If Madonna does die in a couple of days, on the 20th, Magic Johnson will be 66 years, 6 days old, and he is born, if you go back and watch another one of my videos, he is born on 8/14, which is 28 days earlier than 9/11. It's very important in Lucas numbers, and this is all, a lot of this stuff that we're dealing with right here is all to do with Lucas numbers. Let me show you why, and why the white wedding date and everything is so important. Okay, I haven't got time to explain this decode chart, but anyway, this is a real set of mathematical numbers here. I've just made this row up here. Okay, this is called Lucas numbers. You can go and look them up. What you will notice though is that in this, I have compiled this table in such a format that what we want to do is we want to look at balancing numbers, right? And so in the world around us, and in the way we do things in, mathematics and so forth and so on, cycles tend to end up being either in 10s or 12s. Okay, look at the hours of a day, 2 lots of 12 going around. Yeah, the clock face goes around 12. Look at feet and inches and all this kind of stuff. Look at mathematics and how we do stuff in the scientific realm, okay, which is more to do with metaphysical and sort of what's the word I want to use, kind of ideas that are kind of a little bit more removed from reality, sort of let's just leave it like that, ideas that are removed from reality. Anyway, so we deal with these two different sets of cycles. So there's a completion, and the idea this is a complete cycle here, this is a complete cycle, and so we want to find balance between those two things. Number 11 is finding our balance between those two things, and if we want to find the halfway now between the full cycle, which is what we're dealing with here, we want to find that halfway point. Well, it just happens to be right between here. Okay, so this is the half of 10, 5, half of 12, 6. So this is, we're halving stuff down to find the balance point, the teeter-totter, the seesaw balance point the pivot point where everything balances. Okay, that's what life is all about. It's about finding balance in your life. Okay, with whatever you're doing. Okay, here we go. This is the midpoint here. Okay, 11 and 18. Why is this important? I've labeled these metaphysical and physical. These are the twin towers here. This is super duper important, right? 11 perfectly, just look at these numbers as they come through here, right? This is Luca's numbers. Just as they come through here, these numbers here, yeah. So 18 is to do with the number 6. We've already got Madonna numbers tying into this, okay, the physical world. Quite interesting. And here's our 511. Donald Trump got re-elected 511. Yeah. 5th of November. Remember. Let's, we could go on forever. But this is the importance of this. And this is the metaphysical right here. Okay, so let's look at why these two sets of numbers are super duper important. Because if we have the female genitalia like this, which then opens, the gateway opens, and then the male, so that's the female, and then we have the male here, which is the, this, that's wanting to go into there, into the black hole. Okay, so this is absolutely, these numbers are a perfect representation. Just the symbolism of these numbers is perfect for the metaphysical and the physical, respectively. Okay, now what's even more perfect about this number cycle is when you combine these two, right? Because the idea of being in balance and being married, yeah, is these two things coming together, but not having one of them take over the other one. So the idea is to have them in perfect harmony. Okay. And I mean, you could argue that what they've done with the One World Trade Center now is, you could argue that those two things are connected together, intertwined. I don't know. The problem is when those two things intertwine like that, they've lost their individuality because they've become one. Whereas, what we're talking about is we're talking about, again, those two things, you can still tell them apart, okay, when they're like this, okay. When they're like this, it completely intertwined, you can't hardly tell them apart, okay. There's a difference here, and this is again like with the twin towers, having them opposite each other, and then having that man on wire between the two, the balancing of these two, the connectivity of these two. They're connected, but they're not, have not intertwined to a point where they have lost their, like the One World Trade Center, where it has lost they've lost their both individualities. Right, 29 is the perfect combination of these two numbers. Okay, you can reduce each one down individually. 2 and 9. Okay, 11 becomes 2, 18 becomes 9. Guess what? If you add these two together, they equal 29. This is why that tower was removed. The Tower 7 was also removed on that ritual, because that was the balancing of those two things. Yeah. So that third tower, yeah, the Holy Trinity, so to speak, was the representation, of these two towers coming together. So what that that picture there enabled each thing to keep its individuality without this entanglement, okay, that they've done now with the One World. So anyway, this is what is important about this, is these two things can come together and equal to 29, but individually there are 2 and a 9 as well. This is what's so important about this. And so this is the 7th column, and 7, the 7th Lucas number is, so 729 is the big white wedding. Yeah, Diana's white wedding. In fact, it's 72981, you know. And of course, look who's right here. Yeah, Charlie Boy's birthday. Okay, and Princess Diana's birthday right there as well. Those two things coming together on this day. It's a huge ritual, absolutely mental. And there's no doubt that's the reason why that was such the biggest white wedding, you know. Whether or not, you know, that might be why those two didn't really get along, because they were just picked out for that job. Who knows? Or maybe it really went down like it went down, you know. I don't know. Anyway, so this is the importance of this, and this 11, this is the midpoint. So these numbers are super duper important, and we see these numbers in with Rocco Ritchie's birthday, and he is the product of Madonna and Guy Ritchie. Okay, he is the product of the White Wedding. Well, he's actually not, because they got married afterwards, but you get the idea. Okay, the son is the product of the White Wedding, right? So this is super duper important, right? Again, 28 days through, and this is on a Wednesday, and this is on a Wednesday, and I'm thinking to myself, well, if we're dealing with Wednesday being the wedding day, yeah, if Wednesday is the wedding day, then we need to look at what date is right in between these two Wednesdays, these two wedding days. Okay, so when we look at what's in between those two, I think I got it down here. If we go from 8/6, okay, to 8/20, it's 14 days. That's half of 28, yeah. This is the midpoint, and just to double check, we can go 8/20 through to 9/3, the other Wednesday. This Wednesday, here in a day and a half, in a couple of days here, on the 20th of August, is that midpoint. This is the wedding day, okay? 8/20, yeah? So, and again, the reset, yeah? The reset of, I don't know, man coming out of this thing dying. I don't know. Anyway, so that's number. Gosh, there's a whole bunch of other number jumps here. So, hang on a minute. Before we even get onto that, let's get onto the actress that is playing Wednesday. Okay. So it's this gal here, Jenna Ortega. Hang on a minute. Let's get rid of this. Let me just click off of this now. Come on. Oh, blimmin' thing. This gal, she's playing Wednesday Addams. Okay, let's see her birthday, 9/27/2022. Do you see the numbers in here? Read that date backwards. This is 9/27. Read it backwards. 7/29. She's got you read that backwards. That's the reverse of the White Wedding. The 7/20. The 7/29. Yeah. 9/27 is the reverse White Wedding. Unbelievable. So we've already got that going on. Okay. So let me show you this. Let's go from her birthday through to this particular date. Okay. Okay, nothing major on the surface. 8363, blah 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 blah. Nothing absolutely standout mental. Until we get down to, we start seeing prime numbers. And if you've been watching the channel, you are going to know, well, I mean, I don't know what else to say, but 10 and 47 just right here in this prime number is just crazy. Okay, because again, 10 is that symbolism of, you know, that's the Vesica Pisces. This is the physical, and it's about to shoot into there or shoot out of there. Okay, so that is super important. If we go back to this chart, look at the 47. These are the numbers we're dealing with right here. What is on either side of these numbers? Yeah, 47. Okay, 47. So 47 being a reference to balance. Yeah, because either, you know, when you've got that 47, that center point of that right there is the balance point. Yeah, you could think of like 47 as the outer ring around the bullseye, and these numbers right here in the middle of the bullseye. Okay, gosh, this video is going to probably end up being way too long. Okay, so this is important. So, you know, just the numbers that are in here. I know I keep picking apart these numbers, but it's super duper important. What else we got here? This was kind of what led me on to the whole Wednesday thing to begin with, because when I saw, and the wedding connection, see, when I saw this and then it came down to this 871 in reverse, this composite number is the 17th of August. This is Madonna's first husband, Sean Penn. Yeah, so that's literally her white wedding partner there. Okay, 178. I'm thinking that got me all started on this whole thing. Just these numbers right here. Okay. Anyway, we're doing her birthday now because we want to look at the product of the union. Yeah, I'm going to call it a union at this point because they're not actually married, Madonna and Guy Ritchie. 2 years, 47 days. There's the 47 popping up again. Look at this, 111 weeks, the 111, the three towers. And look at it, 777 between this gal, Ortega, and Rocco Ritchie. Now, what's interesting about Rocco Ritchie is his middle name is John. John, yeah, most of you probably know this. John is Jack. Yeah, John is Jack. John is Jack. And where does Jack come out of? Here. Jack is coming out of the pot. Jack in the box. Okay. And he's going to get out of the box. He's Jack coming out of the pot. He's the jackpot at this point. I just can't believe this. 777, the jackpot. Yeah. Again, a nice tie-in with Vegas with all the gambling there. The 777, the jackpot. Bloomin' hell, Rocco getting born. That was mental. What was this one? This was, oh, and I got another. This is also really, really interesting as well, coming up in just a second. 9/27, her birthday again, to the 9/2. I thought there was something interesting about this. 8377. Oh, yeah, 1049 now on the prime number. Click that, and you can start seeing this is one of those prime numbers that just keeps on going. You know, down to the 11. So, and again, the 11 pentagonal. That's just super duper important with the, again, with the metaphysical, yeah, the spiritual side of reality. Okay, the white wedding, the dove from above, yeah, and the Virgin Mary, and the Son being born. Right, what else we got? What else we got going on here? Come on, crack on with it. This was what I wanted to. This is really interesting. So, I did her birthday, as you do. You just sort of do some random numbers in here, you know. I did her birthday back to the Hoover Dam's birthday. You know, we've got the 9-3 numerology going on. We've got the Adam reference, yeah. So we should check out the Hoover Dam. And when I did that and I saw this number pop up, the 2447, I'm like, oh, that is crazy. She's only 7 days off of Madonna's death numbers here. Okay, because for Madonna, from Madonna's birthday through to the 20th, 8/20, is 24477 or 76, depending if you include end date, but 247 is the numerology for that. So this matches up pretty good with the numerology straight away. Okay, just as like Hulk Hogan's numerology was matching up with this as well, yeah, for his death date on the 24th of July, 247. Anyway, if you do Madonna's number jump now through to 8/14/2025, which is our 28 days earlier than 9/11. Okay, as again, there's all that stuff in the back catalogue about 28 days earlier than 9/11, and it's all encoded in Lucas numbers. So this 28 days earlier happens to be the same as this gal's number jump back to the Hoover Dam. So Ortega's number jump back to the Hoover Dam is the same as Madonna's jump through to this particular date here, the 8/14, which is 28 days earlier than 9/11. Now, what's really interesting about this is Magic Johnson's birthday. Yeah, Magic Johnson. We did the decode again with Magic Johnson, just to reiterate. We did that decode with his with Desperately Seeking Susan and the Magic Club, yeah, and all the tie-ins with him and the Magic Johnson on when we click on to her death date. So this is Magic Johnson's birthday. Okay, he's 66 years old right now on this day. Magic Johnson is. Okay, and when we go on another 4 days to her death, Madonna's death, he would be 66 years and 6 days, the 666. Okay, it's such a cool decode. You've got to go check it out if you haven't seen it. But look who we're matching up with. Miss Adams here is matching up with the number jump, tying us back with this dude. Yeah. Oh dear. And that, don't forget, all of that stuff is encoded on the dollar bill, and the Magic Johnson in the film, I'm pretty sure the reference to it is the gold pyramid, the Eye of Providence. That's on that seal that is on the back of the dollar bill with the pyramid is in a gold color in the film on the back of the jacket. Okay, and again, the death of the Matrix. So that would be basically the dollar going to zero because everything would be destroyed. That thing's got to return to gold at that point. Okay, money will have to return to some kind of physical format at that point. And again, yeah, what it is right now, what money is right now is a metaphysical idea. It's just an idea. It's not worth anything. There's no physical reality to it, so to speak. There's no physical backing to it. Again, if everything goes to hell, everybody's going to lose everything. You're going to lose all your dollars, and that will be the return to gold. Yeah, real physical money, the real physical world. Yeah. Okay, where are we at? Completely lost track now. And we can just click on, so you can see it's the same numerology as well. If we go to the 20th, got to do this little cheat a little bit, but 24477, yeah, same numerology, so to speak. Yeah. But that 14 is so important with the 28 days later reference. What we got going on here? This is Magic Johnson's birthday here. Okay, I thought, well, I better check Magic Johnson's birthday now through to Ortega, Miss Adams, and look, the palindromic numbers start up. Yeah. Again, what we're dealing with the marriage, we're dealing with two things that have got to be balanced, reflections of one another. That's why the Twin Towers are so important, because they were reflections of one another without being intertwined, so to speak. Okay, the connection there with the Twin Towers was Tower 7. Okay, that was the, if you like, the the representation of the two rings together, joined together, is Tower 7. Okay. Anyway, I thought, you know what I better do? I better just check 157, what that is, and I better check 751. Okay, just to see the, you know, the properties of it. So we go to number properties, and straight away 751 is super interesting because it's 133. Now what's that got to do with anything, Dan? Well, let's just go to the calendar so you can just see August the 20th happens to be 133 days left in the year. Yeah, the 232. Now remember Magic Johnson's number 32. Yeah, super duper important with Magic Johnson and his number, the 32. Yeah, and here we go with the 133. Okay, and that kind of reminds me of Christopher Walken seems to have some connections with Madonna, and again his birthday 331. Okay, so you can tie people back all over the place really with you know, there's plenty of opportunity to tie things in together. Anyway, so that was that one. Was there something interesting with 133? I felt like there might have been. Ah, that was it. Yeah, it's the 100 composite number. There's that 174 numerology showing back up here as well. But the 100 composite with this was pretty interesting because I thought in the gematria Wednesday, yeah, was 100. Okay, and that 37, I've got a whole bunch. I did a whole bunch of number jumps for this, but I've got rid of a bunch of them because this is already going to take too long anyway. But the 37 shows up a bunch, or 377 or some variants on with the 37 stuff coming on. So anyway, hang on a minute. Well, while we're here, what is this with the 133? This is the other part of this is why this is important. Look at that, just happened to click on that. That was good fortune, wasn't it? 8. This is Rocco's birthday through to Madonna and Guy Ritchie's wedding. Okay, they get married just after he's been born. Yeah, in December, 133 days. So not only is he with them getting married, referencing the potential day of the year there as well. So that was interesting. This was there's the 37 showing up here now. Look, 157. Yeah, 37th prime, and look, prime number 919. Yeah, yay. Because Madonna is the representation of the dam. This is my theory, is that we would see Madonna go sort of in a ritualistic form, right? Sometime before the Hoover Dam finally went. What else we got here? We've already covered this one. Okay, that was that number jump. So we've got Madonna's birthday through to the 814 day, that's super important, and we've got her birthday back to the Hoover Dam, the Ortega Adams girl, and it's the same. Okay, which is kind of, I mean, even to just be 7 days off anyway is pretty close, but to be it's just so intertwined with this, it's just mental. This was her birthday now through to their wedding date, to Guy Ritchie and Madonna's wedding date, and it's 645. Okay, again, look at this, 1 year, 280 days. Was there anything interesting with this? I don't think so. No. See, every once in a while we get one that's just nothing really doing there, But what's interesting is this 280 showing up down here. Oh dear. Anyway, this was pretty nuts as well. This is Guy Ritchie and Madonna's wedding through to their finalization of their divorce. Notice it's in 2008, of course. The finalization of their divorce, and actually we should probably just go check and see if what the numbers are for that particular date. I didn't do that yet. Let's just go down to November the 21st just to see if there's anything interesting going on there. 40 days left. Nothing really interesting, to be quite honest. Let me show you something though. Let's go back to this. Just look at this number. We don't need to click on it or anything. 28 per numerology now coming up for this date, and then the 9/2, the white wedding coming up, which is again is the day after 9/1. Yeah, so we have the 9/1. It would be, if it happens, I would almost be confident that it will happen in the midnight hour. Bloody Vegas is going to go blackout, you know, and yeah, it'll be all in the news, and I don't know, maybe, you know, that is the start of the World War III at that point. I don't know. Anyway, but you can see, look, if you unclick end date, we can get both 9/1 to 9/2, yeah, and we've got Madonna's one in there as well. I mean, I just thought that was absolutely, and that it's nothing super special, is it? It's not a prime number. It's not no pentagonal, blooming tetrahedral or anything like that. It's just a number that you can look at and see, you know, something here and something here. What else we got? Oh, here we go. Just in any old normal year, if you go from Miss Adams's birthday through to Madonna and Guy Ritchie's wedding date of the year, you know, day of the year, 86 days. 86. I tell you, this is crazy. This was even more mental. Look at this. This is actually, I've actually since discovered after I saw this something else. But if we just come down, let's get off of this, back her up. Let's just look at, so number of seasons, 2, release, Netflix original release, November the 23rd, 2022. So this is when it came out on Netflix, because I subsequently found out there was actually a premiere of it on another date, which we'll look at in just a second. But look at this, right? So we've got the 1, 2, 3 stuff going on, the 2, 2, 2. Let's click on and look at the number that pops up. So this is coming out on Netflix through to Madonna's. This is the original series 1 coming through to Madonna's potential death date here. 1001. Yeah. I was just like, when I saw that, I was just like, this is absolutely flipping mental. And especially as she has the X on her eye patch. Yeah. Her X on the eye patch. The number 10. Oh dear. Also, room 101. Okay, and again, 101 Gematria match up with Hoover Dam, and we've got the Golden Gate Bridge with the 101 and all this stuff. Okay, 101 super important with the idea of the gateway being open between the legs. Okay, but again, we can also click on, remember her other number 24476 is the 21st Lucas number, which starts on 2-1. Okay, and then we go with 1-2, and we just add all the Taylor. I'll probably do something on Taylor Swift, but she just did all this crap. But let me choose my language correctly. She just did a bunch of stuff with a release of her. I get this. Was it The Life of a Showgirl or something? And it makes me think of Vegas. With you know, that's what you would see it in Vegas as Showgirls. So that's kind of interesting. And then the cover art for that as well is like she's in a a shattered glass with a sort of bath or with water around her. It's pretty. Anyway, here we go. The 12 and the 21. It's shown up several times before, but the 101 was just nuts. And then of course you can click it or tick it, and then you see 26th pentagonal. Oh, and look down here, 832 here, 238. We'll be doing some stuff on that in the next video. But again, yeah, the 26, and of course Madonna, 6226. Super duper nuts. I think we've done everything. That was absolutely crazy with the 7-7 jackpot. And then there's where our 214s jump in. And then here's the other. So this is the other release. This was the premiere of season 1, which I happened to just randomly find, because you know what I was doing? I was like, they'd put in the, without going back to it, they'd put that they were announced in July, a series 3, and I was like, oh, I wonder if they did that on the 29th of July. Well, it doesn't. No, they didn't. They did it on July the 23rd. Okay, which is still a pretty ominous number there with the room 237. But anyway, when I was just looking at this, of course, somewhere down here I saw that they had the premiere. I don't know where I saw it. Well, anyway, somewhere down here I saw that they had the premiere on. Oh, it's just right here. Dumbass. Look, there it is. November the 16th, 2022. Oh, let me go see. And then look, it was released on Netflix on the 23rd of November. Okay, so I was like, let's go have a quick goosey gander at what that is. And lo and behold, it's the 108, the 18 number. That's super important with Madonna, remember. And it's also really, really important with the idea of the birth of man. Yeah, because of course the man is, do I dare to try and draw on here again, this is the symbol for man, for physical mankind. Yeah, this encompasses both men and women. Okay, this is the physical format, and then the metaphysical format is the 11. Yeah, that opens up, forms the Vesica Pisces, or just an 11, or whatever, however you want to do that, or a circle. Okay, so this is the metaphysical, this is the physical. Why is it like that? Why are men are more physical than women? Yeah, stronger, yada yada yada. So man, men of mankind, yeah, the male genitalia represents mankind. Yeah, the female genitalia represents the metaphysical. And I think there's a lot of people out there not seeing the metaphor and getting stuff confused. I know probably the people that are watching this, not so much, but if you get on, when you get onto sort of some channels, you see people that are obviously getting started in decoding, and they are not seeing, what this actually represents. Anyway, look what we got, and then of course, we can do the number. Click on, and now we've got our 1st of September number throwing up. Yeah, jumping up, coming up. Absolutely crazy. Stay tuned. I'm going to do another video, and I'll probably do it tonight. But it's absolutely mental. It's really just, I'm just going to show you a clip in a film, and it'll be a fairly short one, but it's absolutely crazy what I just found. Anyway, thanks for watching this one. Wednesday Addams, Wednesday, all about, at least, is a sort of hidden idea of the wedding day. Okay, the middle of the week, the balancing day of the week. Yeah, Okay, hump day. Again, the idea of the hump, let's call it the hump day. Oh dear, getting past hump day. And hump day we're dealing with, again, there's another double entendre recycling going on there. Crazy. Alright, thanks for watching. And I will catch you on another one soon. Alright, cheers. Good night. God bless.